And liftoff. Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us for another episode of the Family First. No, wait. The Tim and Jim Show. Hey, everybody. I am Tim Sohn with Sohn Social Media Solutions, and I'm so excited to be here after being in San Diego volunteering at Social Media Marketing World. And I'm here with my friend and trusty co-host, Jim.
Why, thank you, Tim. It's
Thank you.
very exciting to be here with you today. And I know that we had a really good time. We actually worked together this year. We had, I guess I was technically like in charge of you. I'm kidding.
I know you were cracking that whip.
I
You're
was
like
cracking that whip. And so, yeah, we had a great time at Social Media Marketing World as volunteers, and highly recommend that to anyone who is like, well, I don't know that I can afford to go. The ticket can be expensive. But actually, if you go to social media examiner, I think .com right now, I think you can get the ticket for sale for this is, I think, the last day that they're going to be doing that. And so,
yeah.
so what'd you think, Tim?
Yeah,
Did you
I thought
enjoy it?
this year was amazing. This was my second year volunteering. Jim roped me in last year. He said, "You must attend or I will kill you." No, I'm just kidding. Uh, but I was so happy to be back this year because I learned so much, and I also got to meet new people as well as spend more time with other volunteers and attendees that I met last year. So I got to deepen relationships even more. And it was really cool to be with the Connections crew this year. Last year I was in registration, and they're awesome as well. But it was great to be out and about more, talking with the attendees and helping them find their way and connect with other people that they were looking to connect with.
Right. And I think one of the great things for us as well is that, and one of the reasons why I'm glad you decided to be on the Connections crew, I think you volunteered for that,
I
is
did.
that we do really get out and about and talk to people on the floor. We truly are connecting people. And I'll have a little story about connecting later because that was kind of cool.
Ooh. Did you guys hear that? You better stick around.
Right. We have a story, right? We're all trying to be storytellers. So Tim, tell me, what was one of your first, if you want to call it big thoughts, as far as what you got out of this conference?
One of my big thoughts. Well, as usual, there was a huge focus on video. Um, there was a big focus on TikTok this year. Um, as a business, you'll want to think about strategically, does it make sense for your business? Maybe try it out and see if it makes sense. There's a lot of younger people who use it. I'm sure there's some older as well. Always think strategically in terms of where you're publishing your videos and what kind of content makes sense for your brand. But a lot of talk about videos, and especially shorter videos, like 1 minute videos. People are always on the go. But then also I attended sessions by Molly Mahoney and Stephanie Liu, who are both amazing live streaming experts. And you can always repurpose your content from live videos. And so I would say the number one theme I saw, among many others, was an increasing emphasis on video. What about you, Jim?
Well, I think that's a really good point. And I thought one of the interesting things along the lines of video is Michael Stelzner in the opening keynote talked about, if you want to call it, the streaming wars, and that I believe by 2024 there's going to be about 900 plus million people using streaming services. Disney is all in on Disney Plus to the point that they're willing to lose billions of dollars to take on Netflix. And
we use that in our house.
Yeah, all these streaming services are coming in. And even as I was talking about this morning, we're currently live streaming. So there's going to be some opportunities for small businesses. And just like you've said, when you talk about the fact of creating video, well, now you may have other places to have your videos showcased. So I think that was something I found very interesting, very fascinating. The other piece was Facebook ads and how expensive they're getting, and what you don't think about. Sure, you can still advertise for $1 a day, but how many people are you now reaching for that dollar? And
Yeah.
it's like, I want to say it's like a 90% increase in ad costs on Facebook, say from a period of years. And then the big thing that's causing those ad costs to rise is the election,
Oh yeah, those freaking candidates.
right?
Yes,
Right?
exactly. So many of them, and so many of them are using social media ads,
Right.
especially on Facebook, because they still allow them. Um, yeah, that's definitely driving up costs for sure.
Right. Right. And hello, Steve Taylor. Thank you for joining us today.
See,
Great to
hello,
see you.
Steve. See you in a few weeks at Social Media Weekend.
Are you
Maybe,
guys still going to have social media weekend at this point?
as far as I know,
That's right. Well,
maybe we'll just do a fist bump. Boop,
that's right. Everybody be doing the fist bump,
Jim, let's
and we'll
fist bump.
talk more about. Okay, yeah, there we go. So yeah, so those were two of the big two of his big points. The other big point was the fact that people have lost trust in marketers, and how do we reestablish some of that trust? And I think a lot of it is, and Mark Schaefer hit on it in his talk as well, is being more human, being real, and there's a continued emphasis on stories. And I was really surprised that Facebook, I think there's only about 32%, I believe was the number, are using stories.
Yeah.
Instagram was only 46. I thought it would be higher. And then I was actually trying to find YouTube stories today, but apparently there's like 6% on YouTube stories. And then
Hmm.
what do we hear this week? LinkedIn
LinkedIn
and Twitter.
stories. Twitter stories.
Twitter stories are going to be called Fleet. They're being
Sweet.
tested in Brazil. And
Hmm.
so we think they're going to come out sometime a little bit later this year. So I thought that was pretty interesting as well. And those were some of the big takeaways that I got out of his presentation. Anything that you got out of that as well that really kind of
I
stuck out?
actually was not at his presentation. I would have loved to have
That's
been,
right.
but I was either volunteering or
I think it might have made you work.
sleeping or slacking off. I don't know.
Right.
But no, I would have loved to have been at his, but I wasn't at his.
Right. And of course, there are a lot of great vendors, lots of great events. Did you get it now? So tell me, what's one of the sessions you went to that you really got a lot out of?
Yeah, so I went to Stephanie Liu and Molly Mahoney's live streaming, and wow, Stephanie Liu on stage, she owns that stage. Like, she is an amazing presenter. And they talked a lot about like, you want to be confident on your live videos and how to come up with different kinds of content for your live streams. But they were both amazing, and I encourage you guys to follow them on social media and check out. I'm sure they have content out there from their talks in social media marketing world as well. I also thought Anne Hanley's the keynote was amazing.
Yes.
She talked about this rabbit and converting the rabbit, getting the
That's
rabbit,
right. Converting
converting Bun the rabbit
Bun the rabbit, and
to
through her
come to get
funnel.
the carrot, or she tried different vegetables, and it was amazing the way she presented it. It was so funny, and she had all these images of Bun and the story, and then she like digressed, and then toward the end she was like, "Oh, you want to know the rest of the story?"
That's right.
Yeah.
That was
Speaking of stories,
that was a really good one. And I think I really enjoyed, I got to see Mark Schaefer talk about the war for attention.
ooh,
And that was the first time he gave that talk. And, really talking a lot about the fact that, we tend to get led by these, not saying you and I personally, but in general, it's this guru-led mentality of, oh, this guru tells you to do this and do that. And I think we saw a little bit of that in this, I call it this, I don't know what you think, it's this TikTok craze.
TikTok.
All these people are
TikTok.
talking about, I got to get on TikTok. I got to get on TikTok. And they actually even had a session on TikTok.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think you just have to be careful. And that was also part of this. You don't have to be everywhere. And I think
Yeah.
that's the danger that some of these folks, run into, because what are you gonna, there's got to be a strategy behind it, right? It's the whole Pareto principle. It's the 80-20 rule. What are you doing to
Right.
make sure that your strategy is effective? And I think
Yeah.
big theme, right? User generated content, right?
Yeah,
Stop
totally.
using stock photos. And that was part of Mark's presentation as well. And it's pretty funny, right? Like they show those office photos where everybody's all like clean cut in their suits and they're all high-fiving. Like that's not, how, or like he had this one, like this lady's laying on her desk next to her laptop, like she's all happy. And it's like, do people really do that at work?
Yeah, yeah. And we want to thank Marco Novo is watching over on LinkedIn. So thanks for being here. And yeah, speaking of user generated content, I was talking to one of the in the networking plaza, one of the vendor or whatever you want to call it. They work with user generated content. So if you want to use somebody else's content as a brand, they help you get permission from the content creator, and they do much more than that. But that just came into my head because you were talking about user generated content.
Yes, yes. And yeah, we had, Agora Pulse was there. They actually gave away a trip to Paris, and our friend Amy Aaron actually won it.
I know she told me she's going to take me. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, you hope, right?
I
But
know.
I want to recount, because I told him, I said, well, her last name begins with A. Did you guys even like mix up the names, or just take the first name in the alphabet? She's got the double A, so that's probably how come she won the trip to Paris. And
Right.
so that was great. And so I'll tell you my little story, which was really well. First of all, who did we actually get to meet and get a picture with on the special quick and content cal bus party?
Geige Top
Yes,
from
of
StreamYard.
StreamYard. That's right. We actually got to hang out with Gage and got a groupie. So
A groupie. I
we
like
put
that.
that on StreamYard in the community. What a great guy! It's so great to finally meet him in person. And so Tim and I got to hang out with Gage, and he told us some things that StreamYard's working on, but we won't tell everybody. We don't want to spoil the surprises.
Right.
But I met with Gage, and these folks were really cool. I've actually got their little flyer. I don't know if you can see this. Right. Metricool. These were the people
Are they cool?
they were cool. They're from Spain. They were the folks that were keeping up the leaderboard of all the tweets. And so they
Oh,
have this program that can track how much activity is going along with the hashtags and other stuff. And they actually have a 45-day free trial, and so got to meet them. So I thought Gage might want to talk to him, and he did. And so while
oh, cool.
we were over there introducing him, I happened to run into um, Neal Schaffer.
Neal
And
Schaffer.
Neal Schaffer is
Is he
a
really
huge
marketing?
name in the influencer marketing space. And he actually gave me his newest book, Age of Influence, which actually comes out March 17th. So I'm reading it. I'm going to be putting a review out. It's amazing. But he's really talking about the fact that influencer marketing is something that is really here to stay. And in the book, he even goes into how you can really get away from paid advertising by using influencer marketing right. And there's really four areas when you consider influencer marketing. It's affiliate marketing,
Yeah,
it's blogger outreach, it's employee advocacy, which I think a lot of businesses could do a lot better at.
for
And
sure.
last but not least, brand advocacy. Because when you think about it, Tim, and of course, you and I don't have employees, but don't your employees as a business owner can be not to mention even like nonprofits and other organizations. If you get your people all sharing your message through their
Yeah,
network, you can have the potential to get so much organic reach. So even that should become kind of a policy, a training idea. I mean, it's amazing when you read some of the examples he has in this book of how many people uh, have been able to really grow their brand just through using influencer marketing.
Yeah, I know I want to read his book because I've worked with businesses before where I have tried to get their employees to, share the post or engage with the posts or do anything with social media. And it is a real challenge for certain businesses, so I will definitely be getting that book.
And we don't have a date yet, but Neal said he's going to come on the Tim and Jim show. So be prepared.
What?
Yes.
That is amazing.
And so, so the rest of my story is we were talking about StreamYard, and he was like, "Oh, I love StreamYard. I use it sometimes for podcasting." I said, "Well, how would you like to meet the co-founder?" He's like, "That would be great." I said, "Well, follow me." And Geige was still talking with the Metricool folks, so they got to meet. He told Geige how much he loves StreamYard. So Neal Schaffer is a StreamYard fan, just like we
Wow,
are.
that is awesome.
So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
That's awesome. Another takeaway that I got from the conference was during Marcus Sheridan's keynote, he really drove home the point of the importance of having pricing on your website. Like, think about when a customer comes to your website, you have all this information about how you can help them and what you do, and then there is no pricing information or how pricing works or what's the process, So I thought that was a really good point because it's not something that I've seen talked about a lot in our worlds. Yeah, what do you think, Jim, about that?
I mean, I think there's a place for it. I think it kind of. I'm still one of those. It depends because I could see where, like, if you at least have a baseline, you're giving people a comparison. But at the same time, especially with what you and I do with services, for me, it's like it depends. If there's a certain
Yeah,
additional things you want, the price is going to change. So I don't necessarily feel like what I do is a, black and white on the price. And so I know that's what he says. I think that
right.
makes sense for people that offer products or like very specific packages, but
Yeah,
I don't know that I'm not going to listen to him.
they're not going to listen. Marcus, are you watching? Did you hear that?
He probably will watch on replay.
No, but I totally agree. It depends. Like some entrepreneurs or businesses will have like one package they sell at a time or two, or, maybe like between a 1 and 3. And people more like me and you might have packages that we put together that are more custom depending on the client. So it would be a lot harder to do something like that for people like Tim and Jim.
And want to say hello, Mike Alton and Jeff Ettringer over on LinkedIn are tuning in. I'm glad to see them stop by. And I'll tell you another one. I don't know if you got to see, I think you were seeing Stephanie when I went and saw Kelly Noble Mirabella, who is part of the reason, like I've said before, that we're sitting here today. But she was talking about messenger marketing. And one of the amazing things about messenger marketing that people may not realize is, and here's a good point from Steve. Prices are too variable servers unless you have a set of pre-packaged items. Yes, Steve, I agree with you 110%, not just 100%, but 110%.
I second that.
I'm going to be with Steve on that one. But did you know, people out there in social media land, that there are more people on messaging apps than all the other social platforms combined?
What?
Now, mind you, yes, it is finally that next bump up. And I put a tweet out about that. I took a picture of her slide. There is actually, and think about it, Facebook owns WhatsApp, they own Instagram Messenger, and they own Messenger on Facebook. So, and there, of course, there's that talk of them all merging, but we even on our team, right, which was a first for me, we had a WhatsApp group. And that's how we
Yeah.
communicated during the conference as a team is we just used WhatsApp, and it was very easy. You know, you got the little notifications. It didn't like ring on your phone or anything like that. I mean, you could if you needed to, but it let us share pictures amongst the group, and everyone could download them to their own thing. And that was a group of about 16, 20 people. So it really made it easy to communicate. And did you know WhatsApp is the most downloaded app of all the apps right now on the iOS store?
I am learning all sorts of things here, Jim.
Well, that's I'm here to help. You know, I'm the stats geek sometimes. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, but she talked about, the power of messenger marketing and chat bots. Now, I will say this, just after we left the conference, Facebook updated Messenger. And have you
I
seen the new look
heard.
of Messenger?
Yeah.
It
Mhm.
now has taken away the Discover tab, and I think so. Now, basically, on one thing, you see the stories that are going on in Messenger world, I guess, or your friends and your people. So they say they've I don't know if demoted is the right word, chat bots, but they're not making it as easy to find them. So it definitely behooves you to go join Baby Got Bot by Kelly Noble Mirabella and learn how to use chatbots the right way so that you don't get into chatbot jail as they have continued to change the rules on how they can be used. And
Sure.
ultimately, I would even say use your chatbot to get people's email addresses because
Mhm.
sometimes we forget, like right now, we're on rented land. We're
What?
well, yeah.
This
Well,
isn't our
it's not
land?
it's not our well, it's not our land. The video is our land because 'cause we're on StreamYard,
Right.
but where it's being placed right now is, if we were to upset Facebook, YouTube, or LinkedIn, and which reminds me, don't forget to subscribe to the Tim and Jim Show on YouTube.
That's true. And we want to thank Chris Bro from Lately. He's watching over on LinkedIn. Hey, Chris, it was great to meet you in person. And we want to say hello to Luis, also on LinkedIn. Marco is using some Spanish over here. Hicieron un shout out on Metricool.
Nice.
Marco also says Neal is such a great guy. He's tried TikTok, but he doesn't feel in his elements. That's a good point. He said we should think about a platform which fits our identity.
Ooh, I think
And
I think we're on it, aren't we?
he says he knows the boys from Metricool. They are awesome.
They are.
Cool.
Muy bueno. I really enjoyed meeting the Metricool team, and we are connected on LinkedIn, and
Uh,
they are really really good people. And that was their first social media marketing world conference that they actually attended, and so I
yeah.
think they might be back next year. So that was another really really great thing. Um, but yeah, so I think that's a great point that was brought up, right? Be on the platform that fits you. And, because I know my friend Mike Alton was out here, I'd also say that blogging is important. And I know Mike has got another blogging boot camp coming up. So, Mike, I'll give you a shout out because he's been one of our guests previously. And I want to say he's like the head of all
Hi,
the
Mike.
brand ambassadors on Agora Pulse. And
He's a bigwig over
what a
there.
great company. And they're doing a lot of things as well. So, shout out to Agora Pulse and what they're doing. They're actually they have taken over the social media uh, management school from Andrea Vall and Phyllis Carr. So if you're an Agora Pulse agency, you have an opportunity to get involved in using the school as well if you've been a previous student of theirs and are involved in the school. And so you'll want to reach out to Eric Fisher if you have questions about that. So that was another thing I learned while at the conference as well. So what was your best moment from the conference?
My best moment. Oh, I don't know. There were so many best moments.
I'll give you all
Um,
right. You want top three?
I don't know. There's one person I met last year that I got to spend some time with. We were both not volunteering, and we were hanging out in the volunteer room, and we just got to chat, and we had so many laughs, and it was just great to spend more time with her, you know, like get to know people better. What other top moments? I don't know, like the keynotes were amazing, I thought. And they also added a 2-minute workout before the keynote. So everybody was up and moving, and I thought that provided a lot of more energy. So I thought that was really cool. And seeing Jim again. Jim, we
Yes.
met again for the second time.
And we got a selfie
We got
together,
a selfie on the last
and a
day.
selfie with Geige, which was that was really cool. I in
Sure.
fact, I would tell you, yeah, it was so fun to not only get to go on the little bus party with
That was a lot
Content
of
Cal
fun.
and Quick, but we got to meet Andy Lambert, who is
Yeah.
who runs Content Cal, and then we got to meet Dan Holloway. And
Yeah.
by the way, folks, in case you don't know, let's make our special announcement. Did you know it's not till August, but episode 100 on the Tim and Jim show? In fact, I'm going to create a banner real quick.
Can you guys guess who our guests will be? There will be 2 guests for the number 100 episode. So let us know down below who you guys think will be our guests, plural, for the 100th episode.
All right. And Steve's got to run. Thank you, Steve. And our 100th episode is going to be...
Wait, drum roll.
Andrew and Pete. That was a quick drum roll. Andrew and Pete will be joining us for episode 100. And so we're definitely, and that's going to be August 19th. We're going to have some amazing prizes. And Dan Holloway is going to be episode 99 because he wants to throw down the gauntlet for Andrew and Pete to have to beat him on episode 100 with episode 99. So Dan Holloway from Quick is he said, I want to make them. He's going to probably be like egging them on episode 99. So yeah, we've got a lot of great guests that have come out of this. Jeff C, it looks like he's going to be coming on around the end of May. So excited about that. I know him and Eric are actually down in Orlando right now at Podfest, and they are going to be speaking tomorrow. And two great people, really friendly, very knowledgeable as well. And so yeah, so I mean, I think that was one of the things. So yeah, I'd say top 3 moments, like definitely getting a chance to connect with you again, and getting to kind of do our people getting to know us better as Tim and Jim are confusing us and thinking that you were Jim and I was Tim. For me, getting a chance to actually meet Neal Schaffer in person, and what a great guy. I mean, so many people, right? Got to meet Michaela Alexis, and we talked about coffee. She's a huge coffee fan, and so she's a big fan of Hawaiian coffee, which we brought some of that back.
Wow.
Also meeting AJ Wilcox, what a smart guy. I think there's a lot of things going to be coming down the pike for LinkedIn that hopefully we will soon see, where events you will be able to use the page to invite people to events. It won't always have to be using your personal profile. And so I think a lot of exciting stuff, a lot of great speakers. And so, I mean, the one downside of being a volunteer, if you want to call it the downside, is you're not able to always go to all the sessions, but we do get the replays. And then, of course, it's funny too, because, right, some of these folks have become really good friends and they're all speaking at the same time.
Yes.
So they don't even get to see each other speak. And then you're like, ooh, which one do I pick?
So true.
But just a lot of, and the other thing that's unique about this conference, I don't know if it's unique, but even like the last night after the conference is over, a lot of the speakers that haven't left are still there. They're hanging out at the Grand Hyatt, and they're just sitting there to talk with people and chat with people, and they really open themselves up to helping people out. And so next year the conference is going to be, and I'm going to put the dates in for people. It's going to be Get it on your calendars now. February 28th to March 2nd of 2021. So that means the conference will actually start on Sunday like it did this year. And then it will go Monday, Tuesday. If you want to volunteer, where you get a full access ticket and you just have to get yourself there, that will probably start occurring late summer. Make sure you keep your eyes open on the social media examiner website or I think they actually have a site just for social media marketing world.
Yeah.
And or if you want to learn about being a volunteer, just contact me or Tim and we'd be happy to get you in touch with the right people. I know that we definitely, I think, well, when I say we, me and Karen, I think you as well, plan to volunteer again because I really love being able to connect with people. And I think it's just an amazing way to build those relationships that in some cases have started online and have now crossed
Yeah.
over in real life.
That was
Yep.
so cool to meet so many people that we've had on the show that I met last year and got to spend more time with. That part
Yes.
is like amazing.
Priceless.
Yeah. Priceless.
Priceless.
And one of my clients already said she wants to be a volunteer next year.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And next year we're gonna bring Tim and Jim buttons.
Yes, we need swag.
We need swag. Yeah, we kind of dropped the ball there. We didn't have any swag.
It'll be more than 2 years next year, Jim.
Yes.
This is getting serious.
You think?
I think so.
So we want to thank everybody for joining us. Can you think of anything else that we want to leave people with?
Just you guys should definitely go next year. You know, whether you're a volunteer or an attendee, if you want to go to the sessions in person, I mean, you guys can certainly meet people in person that you're sitting next to, and you would also have more time to meet with other people during the conference and stuff. But I highly suggest being a volunteer because you get to meet so many amazing volunteers, speakers, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And it's so much fun. So just highly recommend getting involved in some way. And if you can't be there in person, you can always get a virtual ticket as well.
Right.
What about you, Jim? Any parting words on this special recap day?
Well, I am going to put, so next week we have Mitch Jackson, he's also sometimes known as a streaming lawyer. He has a book on the ultimate guide to social media with a bunch of the speakers actually as some of the chapter contributors. And we're going to be talking about how the coronavirus is impacting events and your business and everything else. And Mitch just wrote a article about that. We're going to share that as part of what people learn about as we get ready for this for next week's show. So very excited to have Mitch coming on. Mitch is amazing professional, and he's a great example of how a professional, he's a trial lawyer, one of the top trial lawyers in California, has embraced social media as a part of his business. And it's amazing what it's done for him. If you're not following Mitch Jackson, you really need to. He is a brilliant man. Excited to have him on the show next week. And so that's going to be a lot of fun. And I think it's a very timely topic because even today I was at a meeting for the National Speakers Association. A lot of speakers, that was a question, like, what do people do about this? And I know Brian Fanzo has been talking about it as well. So definitely coronavirus is in the news. And so we will talk about how that's going to impact people. We've heard it's impacting some of these conferences that are going on in the next few months.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you, Jim. Thank you
Tim.
all for watching. If you have any comments, if you're on the replay or just starting to watch now, please leave them down below and we'd be happy to respond later. And as always, thank you for your support, your presence in this crazy, busy world.
Yep. See you guys. Take care.